We go to page 47. So we're going to see this thing called decision rule. Now what is decision rule? Now we are actually discussing decision making when you have a situation like uncertainty, risk and uncertainty. So one way of how you solve the problem is you use probability. And then besides probability, we can draw using a decision tree to solve the problem, okay? Now another way of how you can solve problem is we're going to use decision rule. Now decision rule is basically the way you decide based on your risk attitude. So it's something that you do not need to look at probability. So how many rules are there? Now we have 3 rules over here: maximin, maximax, minimax, regret. Okay. Now what is maximin, maximax and minimax regret? Now this maximin and maximax, they are opposite. The maxi is your criteria that we try to maximize something. The min at the back these are the assumptions. So min and max is what? See, to us min is you assume that it's the worst. Max is you assume that it's the best. So that's why basically max means we assume that it will be the best outcome. Min is you assume if it's the worst outcome. Now, so in short, maximin is choose best. Okay. Now you must be choosing the best. No one choose something which is not good. Okay. So you always choose the best. So you choose best. Maximax is best of the best. Maximin is best of the worst. Okay. Now to show that to you, you look at illustration 1. Okay, look at illustration 1. Now there are 3 investments which are mutually exclusive: project A, B and C. Okay, project A, B and C. Now they are all mutually exclusive, so you can choose either one. Okay, so they have given you the profit in best, most likely and worst scenario. So which project that you will choose if you decide based on the rule? Now we look at the first two, maxi min and maxi max. Now if you're using maxi max, easier one. Maxi max is what you assume situation is the best. Now if situation is the best, now you just think and see. Project A, which profit here is the best? Obviously the best is the highest. Okay, so it's 160. Now project B, the best is 170. Project C is 160. Now we are assuming that, of course you know that there are three different possible outcomes, but we are assuming if it's the best, 16, 17, 16. So which one is best of the best? 17. So if you're using maxi max, A is 16, B is 17. So we choose B. Okay. Now if it's maxi min, now maxi min carry an attitude we assume is worse, so it's very prudent. Okay, maxi max is a risk taker. You are very aggressive. You always assume that I don't care, I just go for the best one. Okay, now so maxi min is you're very prudent. So if you think the worst case, now if project A in the worst case, how much you gonna get? 50 lah. Project B in the worst case is 80. Project C, the worst case is 100. Now, so worst for A is 50. Worst for B is 80. Worst for C is 100. So we are choosing best of the worst one. So you choose C. Now that's how your decision is derived using maxi max and maxi min. Okay. Now what is mini max regret? Now this one you have to do 2 steps to get the answer. Now first, what is regret? Now regret is actually, you can say, is your opportunity loss. You make regret when you make wrong decision. Okay, so regret is the opportunity loss. So regret is when you make wrong decision. Now, let's say I ask you, now I have 3 investments for you, A, B, C. You don't know which one you're gonna make. You're gonna choose one. Which one do you choose? The bench is done. A. Okay. 你拿到90. So he got 90. B was actually 70. Feel happy, right? Because see, I got 90 wrong, but C was 150. How do you feel? You feel, 哎呀，早知道就选 C. Now that is regret. So when he chose A, he got 90, but then only he realized that C is the best. So when he realized C is the best, immediately he feels that there's a regret of 60. Is it not? Now this is what we call as regret. So the only way that you have no regret in this case is you choose C. When you choose the best, you have no regret. So that's why if you want to do mini max regret, you must first find what is regret. Okay, a regret table is required. Okay, how do you do a regret table over here? Now, we have 3 options. A, B, C. regret equals to the best result minus your result. Okay, so the only problem now is you don't just have one possible outcome. We have three possibilities. So when you have three possibilities, when you calculate the regret, you have to calculate 3 times. Like example, if turns out to be the best, okay, if turns out to be the best, so now we cover most and worst. We just want the best. Okay, it turns out to be the best. Which project you invest that you have no regret? A, B, or C? B, because B is the best. So B is the one that you have no regret. That's why if you have invested in A, you will regret 10. Can you get it? Because 160 is what you've got. 170 is the best one, so the difference is 10. So B will be 0, C is 10 again. Now in the most likely situation, again we cover this best and you cover the worst. We just want to look at in most likely situation. Now, which one you invest that you have no regret? A, B, C. A, no? Because A will give you the best outcome. But if you have gone for B, right, then you will feel you have a regret of 10 exactly. And in case you chosen C, you regret 30. Now in the worst case, right, last one, the one you have no regret is when you invested C, highest. So C will give you no regret. If you invest in B, you regret by 20. You invest in A, you regret by 50. Now, why do we calculate all the regrets for each of the possible outcomes? Because we want to assume in each of the outcomes when you have regret, which one will give you the highest regret. Now A highest regret is 50. In B, highest regret is 20. We are not adding, we are choosing. In C, highest regret is 30. And regret is something that we don't want. It's something you don't want to regret. So if you do not want to regret, that's why you want to minimize it. So minimize will be B. This is the lowest. That's why your option, your decision is B. So this is a very simple attitude that you're always very self-comforting. What do you mean by self-comforting? For example, if you choose B, turns out to be best, you're very happy. Now if you choose B, turns out to be most, right? Of course you regret. But when you feel regret also, you say luckily my regret is 10, not 30. Imagine if I invested C, I regret even more. Luckily my regret not so much. But if you come out to worse, again yours is not the best situation also. But you still say luckily I didn't invest A. Invest A, I regret even more, right? But at least I minimize my regret. So my regret level the most I will achieve is only 20. Now this is called mini-max regret. That's why it's minimizing your maximum regret. Follow? Now this is the 3 decision rules that we see. Now these three rules, we do not need probability. So you just need to look at the amount and then see which is highest, lowest, and decide. Follow not? Okay? Now the one that they might want to include probability so that they ask together is they ask you to calculate how to maximize expected value. Now they say that these three investment, the probability is given as 0.3% is best, 0.45 is most likely, 0.25 is worst. So if like that, which project do you invest if you're using maximizing expected value? Now what you're going to do is very simple. I do here. Now, your project A, 30% is 160, 45% is 150, 25% is 50, 30% is 17, 45% is 14, 25% is 80. By 3% is 16. By 45 is 12. 0.25 is 100. Now the way to calculate expected value is like that, okay? So 128. 134, 127. Now, of these three, which one has the most EV? Project B. Project B has maximum EV. Yeah. Now, so we summarize again what we learned by looking through an example, page 48, example 2. Okay, they want us to construct a payoff table that shows only the net profit. I just want the profit only, okay? For various levels of outcome at each selling price. Now, you must get the table first, then only you can do decision rule. See, you can start decision rule straight in this example because I already given you what's the profit. See the idea? But here, you are not given the profit. You must calculate the profit yourself. Okay, then only they ask you which price you should choose based on maxi-min, maxi-max, mini-max regret. Okay? Now, says that Aztec is considering various prices for its product, which is anticipated to have various possible outcomes. So the selling price of 20, 22, 24. Now at different price, we have different sales volume. And again, this sales volume, you are not sure. It can be either at best, most, or worst. Okay? So at best is 48, likely 42, worst is 40. But if you sell 22, it's going to be 42, 36, 31. If you sell 24, it's going to be even lower, 34, 32, 28. Now the variable cost per unit for X will be $10. Variable cost per unit will be $10. But for production above 36, the excess will fall to 9. Only when you're above 36, this cost from 10 drop to 9. So from 10 drop to 9, then your contribution will increase. Follow up, okay? Now the fixed cost will be 200,000, but it's only for capacity up to 40,000 units. So production in excess of 40 will increase the fixed cost by $20,000 for every 2,000. Now, so for those cases, for example, like this 48K, 42K, this one the fixed cost will go up. 42 one will go up. Okay, this one will not go up. It's only up to 34. So you must see which one that it will be affected by the increase in fixed costs. Okay, so based on this, we must first work out the payoff table. Payoff table. Showing if you have selling price, the profits level for best, most, worst. So you got 9 figures to calculate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right, you quickly start. So I'll show here. Now, your contribution per unit, 20 minus 10 is 10, correct enough? But the 10 only for 36,000. Agree, yeah? Now anything above 36, the variable cost drop to 9. So contribution become 11. Then multiply with 12 because your sales volume is 48. Now fixed cost is 200. But for every extra 2,000, fixed cost increased by 20. So you must take the 200 at 20,000 times how many times? 4 times. So So you will have a profit of $2,000. Okay, now $36 plus 11 times 6 minus 220. You should know how to get the figure. 36 so 206,000 is working 1, working 2, $36 plus 11 times 4 minus 200. So 204. Okay. Now if you set selling price as 22, then your contribution will be $2 higher. 22 minus 10, so it's 12. So if your sales volume is 42,000, the first 36,000 got no discount. The balance 6,000 after discount contribution is $1 higher. And again, if you have fixed costs at 42,000, it will become 220. $12 times 36 minus 200. $12 times 31 232 172. Okay. Right, if you set selling price at 24, then your contribution becomes 14 times 34,000 minus 200. 14 times 32,000. 14 times 28,000. So 276. 248. 292. Okay. Now, So based on the 9 results that we have, so they asked us in B. Okay, if you have applied A, maximin. Now you should be able to see, you don't have to calculate or do anything. If you're using maximin, then which price you're going to set? 20, 22 or 24? 24. Is it? Maximin. What is maximin? Min is when you assume it's the worst. So the worst means you must look at the lowest. So in 20, the lowest is 204. 22, lowest is 172. 24, lowest is 192. So which one is the best of the worst? 204, right? So the price should be set at 20. Now, so if you're using maximin, the worst outcome in $20 is 2004, $22 is 172, $24 is 192. So your decision is to set selling price at 20. Give it the highest. Okay. Now, if you're using Maximax, you must choose the best. Okay. Now, what's the best for 20? 2, 1, 2. Best for 22 is 290, and best for 24 is 276. So decision will be 20, 22 or 26? 24. Set selling price at 22. The best of the 3 is 22. Now, so the most difficult is minimax regret. So I leave that. You must try. Now when you do minimax regret, you need a regret table. Okay. Now you gotta first find the regret value. Then you decide which one will give you the lowest maximum regret. Okay. Now when you calculate regret value, remember, you have to do it line after line. So first you start with assuming, let's say if the first one, the best. Now which one you will not regret if you set the selling price at 22? Correct. Because 22 give you the best one. So 22 will not regret. Okay. So if you have set 20 instead of 22, then you will have a regret of 78. If you set 24, then you will have a regret of 14. Okay? Now which one you have no regret if it's the most? 20, 22 or 24? 24. 24 is the highest profit, so you have no regret. But if you set 22 instead of 24, you will then have a regret of 16. Correct. And if you set 20, the regret is even higher. You have regret of 42. Okay, again, last one. If it's the worst outcome now, which one that you have no regret? Which price? 20, yes. 20 will give you the highest one. So if you set 22 instead of 20, right, then you will have a difference of 172 minus 204. So your regret is 32. But if you set the price at 24, then you have regret of 12. Now, we don't want regret. That's why first ask ourselves, of all the three, how much is the maximum regret each one can give you? And then you go for the lowest. So the lowest is here. So your decision is you set selling price at 24. Okay? Now, see, in the exam, the problem may not be like what you see now, where they give you numbers, workout contribution, so that it's actually easier to interpret. Now, sometimes questions can be very simple, just like what you see in illustration 3. Okay? Now, take a look. A baker is trying to decide number of batches for a particular bread that he should bake every day. Now, daily demand range from 10 to 12. That means can be 10, 11 or 12 lah. 10 to 12 So one day you can sell 10 roti, 11 or 12. That's your demand. Okay. Now every batch of bread that you bake and you sell it sold will yield a contribution of $50. But each batch of bread that is baked and is not sold will give you a negative contribution of 20. How many bread should the baker bake? Assuming he apply A, Maximax, Maximin, and Minimax regret. Now, so same thing. You cannot do this until you have a payoff table. So you try this. work out a payoff table for the baker. The profit, or we say the contribution, from selling the bread that you bake. You can sell a demand of 10, 11 or 12. If you can sell 10, 11, 12, then how many can you break? I think I see. Try this. It's a bit different compared with the second example. Now, if your demand is 10, 11, 12, okay, then your choice is you bake 10, 11, 12 lah. You can sell 12, you bake 15 对吗？ You boleh jual 10 roti, you make 10 roti, right? You boleh jual 15 roti, you buat 20 buah apa. Correct. You only make what you think you can sell. That's why the most you can make is 12. Okay. Okay. One bread you sell, you earn 50, correct? You bake 10. Now demand, 10 people buy. So how much you make? 500. Okay. Now, your demand is 11. How much is your profit? Huh? 500 also. Very good. Okay. 500, 550, 500. Cannot be 550 because you only make 10. You tak ada roti untuk jual. Although there are 11 customers, but you only have 10 bread with you. That's why your profit is still 500. Okay? Even if you have 12 customers, also 500. Because you only have 10. Okay, but when you make 11, right? You only sell 10. How much is the profit? Huh? 48. Why 20 lesser? Yeah, because of the one bread you throw. The bread you throw result in $20. That's what they say, a negative contribution. Here, 11, sell 11, you got 550. 11 sell 12, also 550 because you only have 11. You bake 12, your demand is 10. How much is your profit? 460. You bake 12, sell 11, 530. And if you sell all the 12, you get 600. Now, so these are the results we have here, okay? Okay, based on this result, now A, you're supposed to use Maximax. Now Maximax is if you bake 10, 11, 12, the maximum profit is 500, 550 and 600. So decision is you bake 12. That's the highest of all the three. B, Maximin. Now if you bake 10, 11, 12, what is the minimum profit? 500, 480, 460. So again, you want to choose the one that give you the highest, assuming that profit is the lowest. So you bake just 10. Now, if you go for minimax regret, so if demand is 10, which one you bake, you have no regret, right? 10, 11, 12. If demand is 10, you bake. Okay, if demand is 10, 10, 11, 12, 10, no? So 10 give you the most profit, so no regret. If bake 11, regret 20. Bake 12, regret 40. Now if demand is 11, right, you have no regret if you bake 11. If you bake 10, you regret 50. You bake 12, you regret 20. If demand is 12, you got no regret if you bake 12. If you bake 10, you regret 100. 11, you regret 50. So the maximum regret in 10 is 100. Maximum regret in 11 is 50. Maximum regret in 12 is 40. So which one give you the lowest of the highest? 12 lor. So decision is you bake 12 units. Okay, right, so this is how we apply decision rule. Now, so calculation wise, we only look at expected value. Now when we talk about expected value, we also need to learn decision tree. So that one we covered it. Okay. Then we talk about value of perfect information. Now that's the calculation aspects. So after that, we look today at decision rule. So the three rules that we see of maximax, maximin, minimax, regret. So these are how you solve decision making when you have uncertainty. Okay. Now we're going to go on a bit more to look at some theory. Now this theory nowadays is also not very important, so I don't think I want to spend a lot of time. I just want to get an idea. Okay. So page 49. Now, see, we said before, when you want to make decision that you have no knowledge about something, you end up faced with a lot of uncertainty, and then you make wrong decision. Like maybe you come up with a product that people don't like. Okay? Like today they very angry at Indonesia with this advertisement that they say fire your Indonesian maid because you have this vacuum cleaner. Alright. Now then last time they very angry with this Air Asia because they advertise you don't want to be in the hospital with the nurse, because that's why you buy insurance, because they sell insurance. So people working in the nurse get very angry with them. Then they say, wow, what do you mean by you don't want to be in the hospital with the nurse? Okay. Then after that, Malaysia Airlines also do some advertisement, what fly you nowhere, alright, then really disappear. So these are the thing that sometimes they didn't know that they will make blunders, okay, especially like advertisement. So they thought that it was a brilliant idea, it was nice, until it came out, and then some people get offended, and then people give very negative remark. So that's why we think that can we avoid all these things. Now, so one way of how we can reduce this kind of so-called surprises is we can actually do a focus group. Okay. See, the whole idea of focus group is basically you get a group of people. These are your target participants. Now all these target participants it can be your customer, potential customer, your target audience. Like maybe if you want to launch a product to youngster, you want to see how youngster behave, you get youngster. Or you want to launch a product only for the female, or you want to get product like, for example, how will the male respond. So you may have certain target group. Now usually we get these people come in so that we see how is their attitude towards a product, service, concept, advertisement. So the idea is very simple. Imagine I put you in a room with many people, and then we put a product here, for example, product, that we have this small group of people go and look at the product, play around, test it out, okay, and then touch it, feel it. Now then at the same time we have another group of expert, example like maybe let's say psychologist, okay. So you may have the psychologists or people who study behavior, that they could be here, or researcher, consultants, to observe your reaction, how they look at you, like the product, you don't like the product. Sometimes you may say yeah I'm okay, okay, you say okay, but actually from the reaction they can know that deep down in you don't like it. But some people, you ask them, like in the hospital, I see all the patients, they ask, you ada merokok? Tak ada. Seumur hidup tak ada atau hari ni tak ada? The doctor all very fierce. I go to GH because no hospital dare to take me, scared I die in their hospital. So I go to so many hospitals, they all don't accept. Tawaka, I beg 3 doctors, take me lah, take me. They don't want to take me. At the end I went to GH. I think GH is still the best. I changed my perception about government now, because they took me in, and first time in my life, I got see so many doctors come left, right, and in front, back of me. Okay, so many doctors. I never seen so many doctors before. And one day, they take my blood nearly 8 times. They poke and poke because they scared I suddenly will go worse, will die. So they have to very monitor very closely. So that was how terrible I feel. Okay, but at least I didn't die. So I was very grateful. So I still can come back and see you. Thank you. Okay. Now, so but anyway, all the patients I see, the doctor all very fierce when I ask them. I still remember the doctor forced the patient to drink water. Minum. The patient don't want to drink. Actually, it's not don't want to drink, cannot drink, really cannot drink. You really got no appetite to eat, don't want to drink. But the doctor say, you don't drink, you cannot recover. Drink, open the water, force the patient to drink. You got to see private hospital do like that. They don't care one, they just want your money only. You don't drink better, you stay longer, okay? There, my platelet now only, I think probably 30 only. But they let me discharge already. There, they drop until 40, 50, they kick you out already. Most of private hospital. Anyway, they force the patient to drink. The patient I see, so kasihan, drink until vomit. Also, the doctor still forcing. I don't care you vomit, you better drink again. So, for your good, no choice, okay? But come back to this. So, all the patients say they never smoke. Then the doctor was telling the nurse, now I tell you, all the patients come here, all say never smoke one. They say, no one will tell you they smoke before one. They always say, I ask them, seumur hidup tak pernah rokok? Tak pernah. All say tak pernah. Really, or maybe I was thinking maybe true. So maybe all the patients there all never smoke before, but all say tak pernah one. Okay. So then the doctor say they all won't tell one, because then the doctor was explaining to the nurse that psychologically human feel wrong when you're in the hospital. Then you want to tell the doctor that no, you never smoked before. So that's why they lied to you. So that's what the doctor was explaining to all the trainee and so on. Okay. Now, so come back to this. So that's why your face could react by saying that, oh yeah, it's good. But actually deep down psychologically you could be against it. So these are all the things that why we need people who understand behavior to be there. That is how we do a focus group. So once the focus group, they study on this group, then they come up with a report. Okay, now this is the whole idea of how we can reduce uncertainty. But the detail of how you want to do focus group and what are the type of focus group, all these are important. But you can just run through a bit. Okay, now page 50. Okay, this market research. See, research is about doing a systematic, extensive study. That's called research. Okay, so systematic, extensive study of what? Of the market. See, to us, we want a product that the market will accept. Okay, and sometimes it's very funny. Product that market accept and what you accept may not be the same. You could be thinking a product is excellent. You could be thinking a product is good. So I always use example like Proton. They always come out with car that they think very nice design, and then after that they come out, people not buying, but no one appreciate their design and everyone condemn their design. So this is the problem. But sometimes it's also because it could be their branding is not so strategic. So that's why people already cannot accept. But the idea is eventually you must have a market that you can serve. So if you don't come up with something that market wants, then you come up with a product people don't buy, eventually you're going to die off. So that's why how to come up with a product that people want, that market want. Now you do a market research. So that's the whole idea. See, the whole idea of why we think that research is important. Now it's like, I always give example. If I give you, let's say, 5 million, let's go and start a business. Okay? Now what business you're going to start? What product you want to sell? What industry you want to enter? You want to open a factory? Or become a retailer? Or go shopping center? Now there must be an idea, you know. So the question now is, this business that you want to start, you may not even know what works well and what may not work. You might feel that can work. You feel only that, oh, this product can sell, but that's your feeling. So that is the problem. When people start to feel, oh, this product can sell, then they start a business. Then you sometimes see why fellas open a restaurant, after that no one eat one. You ask the restaurant owner, why you open a restaurant, you don't want to sell me, why no customer one? You ask the owner, why no customer? The owner will say, I don't know, I thought got customer one, I thought my food is good, I thought everything, but whatever I thought just never happened. So that's the problem. So that's because you may not understand the market. So when you don't understand the market, you don't know what they want, you come in, you try, then you die. So that's why we wanted to minimize this kind of risk through a research. Now how do you basically do research? Now we first must have a research problem. That means you must have a question that you need an answer. Like for example, you want to start a business. Okay, at least you got an idea. I want to start a business. Okay, where do you want to start? What business do you want to do? Now then you can start to research. Okay, so you must have a research problem. Okay, then you must determine what is your research design. Now we can have exploratory research, descriptive, and causal. Now exploratory is you go and discover. Okay, so it's called exploratory, discover. Okay, So last time you realize that when internet and the world is not so well connected, so people like to go overseas, or then they see a new product, they say, hey, this product Malaysia don't have, then they bring back, then suddenly become very rich, you see. Now this is where they go and do exploratory research. They explore something new. Then after that, they realize no one is good, then they come back. So last time people don't rear fish, prawn, then they bring back the fish and prawn they rear. After they rear, then they sell the fish, sell the prawn. Now everyone also rear fish, rear prawn. So nothing so special anymore, you see not? So then people will start to say, rear abalone. They say, abalone can rear one, you also don't know. Okay? Then they say, rear the sturgeon fish. Then sturgeon fish, what fish? I say, maybe by the time you know, that means the whole world know it. So once the whole world know, then nothing so great. Yeah. So that's called exploratory. We try to find out something new. Okay. Now descriptive is more to having a defined plan, so that you know exactly what you need. Then you ask the researcher to carry out and look for things that you need. Okay. Now then causal is to find cause and effect. So usually causal research is to determine more specific reason of why something rise or fall. Like why is Malaysia airline will go down, okay? Why that this record company will go bankrupt, alright? Why is Amazon better? Why is Alibaba stronger than Amazon? So you want to find the reason behind. So that's where causal research is, okay? Now then once you determine the design, the researcher will collect all the data for you, analyze for you, and formulate the finding. Then based on the finding, you will apply. And there's a little bit idea about research. Okay. Now these are things they don't ask nowadays. So I really don't think it's so important. Okay. Now look at page 51. Okay. Now, another thing that we might see with uncertainty is this thing called sensitivity analysis. Now, sensitivity analysis is to measure the variation. Okay? That means how many percent can you change? So when you say how many percent can you change, usually we will measure it based on the break-even point. Now, to show you what is called sensitivity analysis, it's a very small thing, okay? See this example here. Now, A, determine what is the profit for this result, okay? Now, we work out the profit, then we analyze the sensitivity, okay? Now they say LAM is planning the launch of the new product. It is expecting the following results. The sales volume 5,000 units. Selling price is 50. Material cost is 12. Direct labor cost is 6. Fixed cost is 60,000. Okay? Okay. So first, profit from this project. Now your selling price is 50, variable cost is 18, so contribution per unit is 32. and multiply by 5,000 unit, your volume, you got 160,000. Okay. Now there's nothing new here. It's all the same old thing. Now what I want to show is B. So they ask you analyze the sensitivity of this project. So B said analyze sensitivity of the project. Now when you analyze sensitivity, is sensitivity of what? Now example, it can be sensitivity of selling price, it can be sensitivity of your variable cost, it can be sensitivity of your volume, it can be sensitivity of your fixed cost. So when you say sensitivity, you cannot just say sensitivity, sensitivity of what? Okay, now, so example B, sensitivity of fixed cost. So now fixed cost is 60,000. Okay, the fixed cost is 60. And at 60, you still have a profit of 100. So from 60, how much can fixed cost goes up so that this profit become 0? That's what we say. Okay, 60. How much can this goes up so that fixed cost, so that profit become 0? Now, fixed cost can increase by how many thousand? 100. So you can increase 100 to 160 by 100, increase it to 160, okay? Or increase by how many percent? 167%, so that project break even. Now, you can try sensitivity of your selling price. Try and calculate and see. Now, so now you will work backwards. If you want a contribution of only 60, so that fixed cost 60, profit 0 ma. You still multiply with 5,000 units. So how much must this amount be? 60 divided by 5 is 12. So the variable cost is 18. So what minus 18 equals to 12? 30. Oh, so the selling price must be 30. So in that case, selling price can reduce from 50 to 30, or by 20 per unit, or we can say 40%. In order for the project to break even. Now try one last one. What is the sensitivity of the volume? So this time your contribution remain at 32. You multiply with your volume, you need to get 60,000. Then you minus 60, so your profit is 0. So what volume is this? So you divide back, 60 divide 32, we get 1875. So again, sales quantity can reduce from 5,000 unit to 1875 unit, or by 3125 unit, or we say by 62.5%, in order for the project to break even. Okay, this is called sensitivity. So you just say measure sensitivity, cannot, there's no such thing. Okay, but when you say measure sensitivity of what, then only it makes sense. Alright, so that's why when people ask you analyze sensitivity of project, then you must analyze a few things for them, that this is the sensitivity of the cost, sensitivity of the price, sensitivity of the volume, understand? Okay, now so this is part A. Part B. Okay, we take a break, we'll come back, then we look at C.